All right, we're back for our final segment. This is for Congressional District 10, our district, and we have one candidate. I just want to say that our revolution only looks at progressive candidates. So if you have if you see a candidate in front of an Our Revolution banner, it's because the local Our Revolution group acknowledges that that person is a progressive candidate. And with that, I'd like to introduce you all to Joshua Collins, and tell us about yourself. 3-minute presentation, please.
All right. Well, I am 25 years old. I'm a truck driver, and I'm a Democratic Socialist. I'm running for Congress because I feel like I have to. Our representative is not representing us, he's representing his special interests. We are facing an existential crisis, both economically, environmentally, and socially in this country. And I think the scale of the problems we're facing demands like a very large-scale solution. And that means someone who supports a Green New Deal, a radical, bold Green New Deal, that we need people who are supporting a living wage and a radical plan to actually deal with the homelessness crisis. I think a lot of the problems that we're dealing with on a local level are things that are that could be addressed at the federal level, like homelessness and a lot of the environmental issues. We can alleviate that from the federal level. And so basically I'm running because I have a bold plan, a bold vision for this country. We need to just deal with the actual problems and stop serving corporations. That's it. Well, I support the Green New Deal already. Just no one has to push me to support it. I already support it, right? I also want to get more things in it that address things like the trucking industry, which is probably my biggest expertise. And I want to actually have it set up to where we don't have any little tricks in it, because this is something that both parties are known to do. Is they will sneak in things that benefit their corporate donors. And if I'm in Congress, I will be the one who is shouting from the mountaintops if they try to put anything that benefits their donors and screws over the working class and regular people in this country. I have plans, like for the trucking industry specifically, that no one who's not a truck driver would ever even come up with. And you can find those on my website. But what happened in France is something that we need to avoid. In France, they tried to put the financial burden of dealing with climate change on the working class, on regular everyday people, and that is the reason that truck drivers were the ones that started the Yellow Vest protests. That has brought France to this chaos that it's in now, because they were desperate. They had no choice. And I want to be out there actually fighting for everyone, and making sure that we have a truly progressive, truly pro-worker, and a Green New Deal that promotes social, economic, and environmental justice. I guess I'm a truck driver, so I get a lot of time to think. But the ideas that I've come up with are just me looking at the system and thinking, well, what would I do if I could just change it? And so when it comes to the military, I think we should increase the pay, because in countries like Australia, they get paid twice the amount, and the benefits that we convince people to go into the military for, those are provided to everyone in Australia or the UK or the rest of Europe, essentially. Part of the reason I do believe in doubling the minimum pay for people in the military is because I'm not also talking about ending every single war, all of them. I want to get us out of these countries where we are waging war. They don't want us there. We are there for to benefit these large multinational corporations, flat out. And I want to be clear that I don't want to just, bring everyone home and then, put the troops, out, whatever, leave them out to dry. I want to put them to work on our infrastructure. I want to increase their pay, and I want to actually deal with things like climate change. Under the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, we can actually prepare our infrastructure for green energy. And this is also part of my plan for the Green New Deal. This is, my things I would actually contribute to it and push it farther to the left. And this is, I have a whole host of unique plans that no one's talking about, no one's suggesting, and that's basically what my whole plan is about. I'm pushing the Overton window, and if I get into Congress, I will actually bring these things up and make them the part of the conversation. So.
Just three.
Only 3, all right. Well, the issues that I am more progressive on, first of all, I don't support the concentration camps. He just voted to give them $4.6 billion for that. I would never campaign for a Republican, which he's doing now, and he's a Democrat. So he said he will never support Medicare for all. Never. So those are 3 where I'm massively different from him. And I could just go on for the next 40 minutes just listing things that he is wrong on, that he is against us on, and I am on the right side on. And I say that with confidence because the progressive side, the left side, is the correct side. It is the side that actually promotes human rights, and I believe this strongly, that we need to be actually taking action on the things that people are dealing with, and we need to have no consideration for the large corporations who might lose a little bit of profit. We need to actually focus on people, put people first, no exceptions. Well, I am running a modern campaign, and what that means is being very online. It's not taken seriously by the establishment, but when you look at Ocasio-Cortez and how she's using her Twitter, well, I'm doing the same thing. This last month, just in the last 30 days alone, my Twitter alone, in just one account, had 12 million impressions. That means 12 million people saw what I said. That's a big chunk of the country. We have over 1,000 volunteers that we recruited from online, and a lot of them in our district, a lot of them are already at work in our district, helping us make connections. And we were bringing people into the process, people who never voted before, people who were too young when Bernie Sanders ran for president. We are, running a movement-style campaign. This isn't the same as any campaign that has ever been run in this country. It is revolutionary, and it is the exact type of campaign I think we need to unseat someone like Denny Heck in this country. He can have all the money in the world, but we're going to knock damn near every door in this district, and we're going to get him out of there. So.
With your help.
Yes. With your help. Yeah. Well, a few other things. There's been so much work from people all around the district that don't even know me and are doing the work to get into the Democratic Party, to get these people who are, a small minority of the establishment, who are just, using it as a weapon against progressives. And there are so many people who have done the work, gone in there, served as PCOs, helped shift the balance. And that's why, when we came to Thurston County asking for campaign services, that usually doesn't happen, but we got almost a unanimous vote in favor. And this is in Denny's own district, so or his own county. So this is how we are running this. I'm also running as a Democrat. I think that's incredibly necessary. and I'm doing pretty well in fundraising. We've raised over $25,000. We have, I think we're pushing like $800 or $900 in recurring donations, which means just automatic every month. And the fundraising is good, and this is all online. We haven't held a single fundraiser. This is all just donations from people on the internet, and this is how I think a modern campaign should be run. There are tons of people who are in districts who there's no one stepping up, and those people are helping to fund the campaign, and then also in the district and around the state. If there's no one running in whatever the 4th or 5th district, they're focusing on our race, and they will drive down here and knock doors for us. We are also building a lot of coalitions that take a lot of time, which is why we've started so early. We've been running this campaign for months already, and we have built a movement, and it just keeps on growing every single day. We haven't really been seeking endorsements yet. We've tried from some organizations. Most of them tell us that they won't endorse this early. We're looking forward to the DSA endorsement very soon. Other ones, maybe, hopefully, our revolution. We'll see. And a lot of other, groups and organizations that we're basically just waiting on. So yeah, I guess the answer is no. We don't. I'm a truck driver, so I'm not very politically connected until now. It really frustrates me that in this country, houses are seen as something to use to exploit and just get money from people rather than a way to house people, right? I believe in taking bold action in this country to actually deal with the homelessness crisis, and that requires repealing the Fair Cloth Amendment so the Department of Housing and Urban Development can build public housing again. They're not allowed to right now. That's why you see Section 8, but you don't see them just building homes. We need to build millions of homes, and we need to also keep the private sector from getting their hands into that. Because if we do not keep them out of it, they will burden it and weigh it down by them trying to make a buck off of us dealing with a problem. And this is the way I will approach everything that I touch. Any legislation, anything that is going on while I'm in Congress, I will be calling out the people who are profiting off of it, who are exploiting it, and who are leeching off of things like our healthcare system, our housing system, etc. My policy on housing, I think it's so important because we see communities like Olympia, like Yanah, like all of these communities trying to deal with homelessness, but it's like a national crisis, and it's not being treated like one. It's being left on these communities who, people are already struggling, and they're trying to figure out how to actually raise the money. Well, the federal government can do it right now. It can damn near end homelessness within a year or two, and it just requires political will, which is something I feel like I can inspire in Congress with how big my voice is getting, just simply from being online. So.
Once again, if I can get a round of applause for our candidate, Joshua Collins. Yeah.